It's time to get interactive. We're talking about something that all of us are a bit too familiar with, right? Mob action, jungle justice. It has become quite the trend recently, especially if you take into consideration the developments that happened just a couple of weeks ago in Edo, the developments that happened in Katsina, the developments that happened in Benue just a couple of days ago, where regardless of what the reality of the situation is, people decide to take action to pretty much deliver their own version of justice. And usually the pictures are quite harrowing, leading to a question of whether society has moralized these actions, because we seem to see a trend, a growing trend, a phenomenon, if you will, over the past couple of years, where in different parts of the country, and that's the disturbing part, every part of Nigeria has one incident or another where people take the law into their hands and deliver mob action. And that's why we're asking the question this morning. Is mob action morally justified? Let's have a conversation about this one and see what Nigerians think about it. The numbers will be shown on your TV screen in just a moment. Feel free to be a part of it. Remember the rules of engagement. If you're calling in, ensure that the volume of your TV set is turned down to the barest minimum so we can have a free-flowing discussion. You can also join the conversation via WhatsApp, so send your thoughts articulated as much as you can. I'll be very clear with your messaging and also be very civil with your messaging, and send us a text message via WhatsApp to the number shown on your TV screen. I think the quick answer for me, Hauwa, is it's no. Whether the person is a killer, a kidnapper, a phone snatcher, whatever the situation is, that's why we are a society. We have law and order, and mob action is a direct opposite of law and order.
But don't you think the question is, why do people do that? Is it the lack of morals, or is it that there is no more trust in the justice system?
It's a combination of a lot of things, but I believe we have our first caller on. So let's speak to our first caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Abdullahi.
Good morning, Shatima. How is Maiduguri this morning?
Maiduguri, alhamdulillah. We thank God.
Good to hear that. Please go ahead. Mob action, where do you stand on that?
Mob action. Honestly speaking, Abdullahi, this comes out of wickedness and out of immorality, and also lack of self-discipline. Because how can you attack your own brother? In this country, we are all brothers under one umbrella, Nigeria. Whatever you do to your countrymen as equally as you do to your own brother. Even you are not being connected by blood, but nationality have connected you. And moreover, if there is no unity, I am telling you, Abdullahi, nobody can enjoy this country. We have to know this. Peace is the bread that Nigerian masses is enjoying. I'm always telling Nigerians, we should be very, very careful. We should be very, very careful. We should not be tempered with our unity and peace. Because if anybody do not know, whoever doesn't know the joy of peace, let him come to Maiduguri and ask us. We will tell him. We will tell him. Peace is the number one cake that masses of Nigeria that enjoying. Without this peace, honestly speaking, we will not enjoy anything, and progress will not come in. So we have to embrace our brothers and promote the brotherhood, unity. We have to keep ourselves together. You should not be attacking people. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. However, whatever situation you find yourself, you have to be calm. You have to be calm. You have to arrest your anger and follow the due process. You have to follow the legal way in resolving whatever issue have arisen. Because this attack had become something else. Because if you attack one ethnic group, you have your own people in their town, they can attack them too. By the time we engage in this thing, the whole country will become boring. Because security is very, very fundamental thing. Peace is very sweet. If you don't have peace, nothing will move. Honestly speaking, we should come to our senses. We should be thinking very, very wide.
Right.
So we should not be attacking our brothers wherever they are.
Okay.
Wherever you are, you have the license of staying there. And
right.
provided you are contributing.
Yeah.
And and also you have stayed in peace. And if anybody wants to disturb the peace of that land, we have security agencies. You report to them so that we should step in and settle the matter.
Yeah. Shatima, as always, fantastic take. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. As always, our main starter, so to say, in this conversation. I do take the point. Sometimes some of these actions are fueled by rage, which is an emotion that is very powerful, not easy to arrest, as Shatima puts it. Imagine Boko Haram attacks a community and community members get their hands on someone who just killed their relatives. It will be quite difficult to put exactly
and suppress
your emotions in
anger,
the Yeah, I believe someone else has just joined the conversation, so let's speak to our next caller then. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Is this Amina from Kaduna?
Yes, this is Amina from Kaduna.
My senses never betray me. Good morning to you. How is Kaduna this morning?
Alhamdulillah, Kaduna is fine.
Thank you so much for joining the conversation. What do you think about our topic today, mob action? Is it morally justified?
For any right-thinking person, I don't think it's morally justified. But the truth is that sometimes our action depends on the situation on ground. And like Hauwa, I think I'm seeing her for the first time, rightly say, it's just from the fallout of the injustice from the judiciary. When things are not done the way they are supposed to be done, the wrong thing will always prevail. And that is what is happening in most of these places. Mob action, there's nobody, because sometimes you find that they end up attacking innocent people, or it may not be an innocent person, but the reason why that person is involved in that, if you look at it, sometimes it's sympathetic. I remember a woman that was attacked for stealing, I think, just 1 kg of semovita. Before people realized the reason why she did it, she was almost down. See? And when people realized why she did it, she said the reason why she had the children were down for days without food. She had no option. Anywhere she goes, nobody to help her. So all she could do is to find a way to steal and then feed these children. And when they raise barao, the next thing is just they start beating her. But when people realize that, they even start contributing and just to help her. So you understand that is one of the reasons why when we talk of mob action, we have to preach against it. But the truth about Nigerian situation is that when the criminals are caught and handed over to where we think justice should prevail, it's never done.
Yeah.
We have seen where criminals are being arrested. In my environment, I live in the suburb where criminals are arrested, and they will tell people that, look, as I'm going, I will come back, and they will go and come back because they have people at the top there that will see them through. So you find that anytime such a thing happens, and people know that, okay, if this person is being taken there and nothing is being done, they think of what next to do, and the next thing they do is this kind of mob action. And before you know, somebody is being killed or being wounded. You see, like Nigerian, everything about us is in the opposite direction. Justice, when you talk of judiciary, that is where that is the hope of the ordinary man. That is the hope of the masses. But are we getting that justice? There's no justice. So the only way you think you can get justice is to do it yourself and then let anything happen. The government must rise to their responsibilities. The government must make the masses understand that yes, they are there for them, so that whenever you have reason to do anything, you know that somebody is here that will help you. You go to that person, and let the person do the right thing he's supposed to do. There is a situation where you know if you go, you will not get. You think of which way out. And if the way out, even if it's the wrong way, as far as you think you can get what you want, you do it. Let the Nigerian government do the right thing.
Oh my goodness, did we just lost our connection? Oh my goodness. Okay, I mean, as always, an apt take there. What is your response? I mean, you were talking about the trust deficit and why people don't, and she's just re-echoing that.
So first off, I would say with mob action or jungle justice, there is nothing like innocent until proven guilty. You automatically get attacked.
There's no fair hearing.
Exactly, there is no fair hearing. And when it comes to the justice system, as she said, there are people that can work their way around it and get free when, in the right sense, they're supposed to be held accountable for their actions, but it is not done. And calling on the government to do what is needed to be done. But in intricate analysis, you would say that corruption plays a very huge part in that.
Exactly. I believe we have another caller.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I think I'm on the street right now, so I'm just going to say Tony Eze from Benue.
Yes, Tony Eze, you are correct, my brother.
Good morning, Mr. Tony. How are you this morning?
I'm fine.
Good to hear from you again. Go ahead, please.
Well, the truth of the matter is that if the engine of any sector is sick, everything concerning it will feel it. Mob action not accepted, but judiciary is not doing the needful. We are living in a country whereby the poor are being oppressed, no help, left and right. The offenses that poor man commits, he will not go free. The rich man commits it, he will go free. So we are living in a country whereby if you are connected, you can do anything and go free. And for that reason, that brings in some people that thought that is the only way to go, to begin to act that way. I think it is high time that the judiciary will think about the masses and then do sanitize that sector. Because as it is now, it's not the current politician that we have now that will run to. But those that are in judiciary, they are the people that are living with us in the streets. Within our environment, we can find it.
Do tell me you're lost in again.
Oh my goodness, is that the network or what's happening? Give it another try, Mr. Toneze, because I think you're on your way to making an even bigger point. Talk about justice for sale sometimes. I know sometimes some of the members of the bar and the bench say that the media or public commentators are being too harsh on the judiciary. It's a societal problem. Yes, it can be both. Or it can be all of the issues mentioned. It can be the police. It can be the people running our correctional facilities, right? Because we have on record, I mean, remember the whole VDM Bobrisky saga about whether Bobrisky was actually
really in the cell,
during that incarceration for violation of the NARA and things like that. So you realize, you know, it's different strokes for different folks, and if that is the underlying reality, Nigerians feel, okay, the only way we can just get justice is if we deliver it ourselves. If this man is the thief, and to Amina's point, and to your point earlier about mistaken identity, I think just 2 weeks ago, 2 brothers in Katsina State were mistaken for people who were attempting to steal livestock. They were severely beaten, injured, until someone realized that, listen, they're not actually the ones attempting to steal cattle or anything like that. But at the end of the day, the deed has been done.
They've already been harmed.
Exactly. So, yeah, that lack of fairness in whatever process, I mean, we call it jungle justice, but more often than not, it's not justice.
It's not at all. Exactly.
I remember seeing the video of the 4 students, the ALU 4 videos. I can't remember how long ago it was, maybe 2012 or 2013 or thereabout. Quite horrific videos. And we came to understand that after those students had been killed already, that they actually didn't steal the phone.
So
I mean, who deserves to lose their lives over a phone?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense to me. So all the more reason why we need to have this conversation at this point. I think we have someone on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Maybe good morning. To speak to Hauwa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ravi Salis from Katsina State.
Good morning, Ravi Salisu. How is Katsina this morning?
I'm very fine. So you are talking about the rising of action.
Yes.
Jungle justice.
What is your take on that?
Actually, we are not supporting jungle justice to be done in any community, because what mostly triggers this problem is lack of public enlightenment campaign against this action. Even though some of the problem may arise because if the youth cannot control their anger with some certain frustration and other things. So actually there is no way that somebody a sensible person to support jungle justice. Because if you look at what happened in Rome, actually is very dangerous. It's despicable acts. And which the perpetrators need to be punished according to Nigerian law. So we are advocating the youth nowadays to stop taking action themselves. If somebody has committed an offense, will not be lynched or killed instantly. He should be taken to the appropriate authority for investigation, rather than killing him just like that. So this is not acceptable, and it's very bad, and it is unlawful. So this is my take.
Thank you very much, Ravi. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. One of our regular callers from Katsina. And interestingly, just looking up the story about the brothers, I remember they were beaten, and they eventually lost their lives, and they just took their father's car for a joyride, and unfortunately they were mistaken for livestock thieves. And I remember we reported on a multiple of cases also. The other one was from Jos, where someone who was just trying to make ends meet, I think using one of these pickup trucks to deliver some of his goods to the market, and he was mistaken for someone who allegedly robbed someone, and he couldn't speak for himself because the mob was already on his foot. Yeah, and we have so many instances like that. But the bigger question is, even if that individual was a criminal, case in point what happened in Uromi, case in point what happened a couple of days ago with the motorcycle thief in Benue, for instance, is that justice? Do people deserve to lose their lives over, petty theft, for instance, right? We know the laws, the penal code and everything. And yeah, to Rabi's point, enlightenment perhaps is something that we need at this point in time.
That's very, very true. And I believe there's something that needs to be recognized, which is Nigeria, first off, is a melting pot with different tribes and ethnic groups, as well as different religions. So we would have to make sure that anything that happens, whether it be criminality or any dispute or religious dispute as well, has to go to the courts, has to go to the justice system, has to go through security agencies. There's due process. That is why they are in place, so that none of those,
it's called simply put, law and order.
Exactly.
We have all agreed to obey and to conduct ourselves according to certain parameters, right? If a crime is done, the law has identified what is a crime and what is a fitting punishment as far as a punitive measure is concerned. And punitive measures have several dimensions. They are corrective, and they are in a way also punitive, to punish someone who has done wrong. But without fair hearing, sometimes these things all get muddled up. And of course, we're speaking about it, so feel free to join the conversation. I believe we have someone on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's on the line and where are you calling from?
My name is Honorable Boko. I'm calling from Abakaliki.
Honorable, how is Abakaliki this morning? Please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Abakaliki is good.
Good to hear that. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the topic today is good, but we need to address the issue of Nigeria and leadership. It's about failure in leadership. The people are angry, there's no job, there's no food, there's no water, there's no road. The people are angry and there's no justice. You take a thief to the police, before you get to your house, the man has been released because of corruption. So you can't really blame people for turning to jungle justice, because the people who are supposed to provide justice is not providing justice. So that is why the people have resorted to self-help. Let us address Nigerian leadership from the presidency to the councillor. By the time we address the leadership of this country and we get the leadership correct, the police will stand up, the army will stand up, the navy will stand up. It is just about leadership failure. The Chinese say that when the head is working, the whole body is finished. That is the Nigerian situation. It's not because the people are happy to talk to jungle justice, but because they don't get justice at the temple of justice. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining the conversation, apt as always. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with that point.
True.
Nigerians have been put in a position where they feel like they have to figure everything out themselves.
They have to take matters into
Right?
their own
And
hands.
you have this burgeoning youth population. Because of unemployment, we always talk about youth restiveness. What do you think they're going to channel that energy towards? If they're not going to put it in social vices, they're going to take out their frustration on anybody who they think is trying to take undue advantage of a particular situation.
Exactly. So because at the end of the day, an idle mind can't do anything. And with an idle mind, aside from that, recognizing that there is prejudice as well, due to the fact that most people have gone through those kind of atrocities that happen and nothing has been done about it. So instead of waiting for, the justice system to do anything about it, they take matters into their own hands. So next up we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning.
Mr. Ade.
My name is Ade. I'm calling from
Mr.
London.
Ade, it's been a while. Good morning.
Good. Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I've listened to the opinions of my brother, sister that have called me. I have a very different view. You see, there is a more justice. We have nothing to do with the government. It is the people who doesn't have the fear of God in their heart, killing their fellow human being. That has to go. It has to do whether you believe in God or not. And you see your fellow human being just kill that person just like that. For no reason. Because I know that the police people have their own fault. What take me to them. Look at what happened in Edo, I can't remember now. That there was some who are guns, which is very horrific. It's not supposed to happen. Look at the very unity comment in Sokoto. In the name of blasphemy, if they cannot prove, they burn that there alive. Even the soldiers in Sokoto, they don't comment. They are watching it from you. That's why America do and that we listen to what they say recently. That can cause problems for Nigeria. You understand? So, they are blaming the government that they take insecurity, they take it lightly. But the common people who are taking law to their hand, is it government that want to tell them that kill this person? No. Then another point is that You can't say because you are hungry, then you want to go and kill somebody. Hunger is everywhere. Go to America, see what is going on in America, see what is going on in the United Kingdom. People go to food bank in the United Kingdom, with their babies at their back or in their farm. They go to food bank and collect food. These are people, both white and black. So you have to manage it. There is no free love anymore. Like in those days that we used to enjoy. People are still living in that dream. They are still dreaming. You have to work very hard. Create something for yourself. What is happening in Nigeria is that there is lack of trust. I go with driver, the way you take my car away and run away, that's what is planning. Somebody get a lead. You know you love the person the next day and kill the person. Is that government? It's greediness. People want to live a lavish style without working very hard. So that's the truth. You can't do that here. You have to let your way. The lab will give you for 8 hours. That 8 hours you must work it. You don't do it. If you go to toilet and spend 10 minutes in toilet, you come and knock the door. You will get from your break. So you see guys. But there's nothing like that. When you are just laughing, you don't want to do the job you want and just say money. You don't know what that is. It is time to wake up and be serious and fear God. That's my point. God bless Nigeria.
Amen to that, Adi. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining the conversation, Adi from London there with his take. And of course, I want to agree with him on one particular point, and that is the sanctity of life itself. Right? And that's why even when it comes to capital punishment, I mean, do you know how many people are currently on death row? And so many governors are hesitant to sign the death warrant because we all believe in the sanctity of life. You cannot just take it willy-nilly. Like I did say, the law has prescribed what is punishable for whatever offense. I mean, petty theft, assault, and all of these things. It appears when it comes to jungle justice, they're not just going to slap you about. The point of jungle justice, more often than not, as we've seen, whether it's blasphemy, whether you're rumored to be a bandit, whether you're rumored to be a thief, it's all capital punishment. You lose your life. Usually when it comes to jungle justice, the same ends. And, you don't even get to defend yourself by making an argument about whatever allegations might have been leveled against you. And that is the most unfortunate part. And of course, he did point out some of the fault lines we have in our community today. The prejudice you alluded to earlier, where if the criminal is from this tribe or from this religion, people feel a certain type of way towards that person, and then they deliver their version of the justice that they feel is necessary at that point. I think it's time for us to take a look at our comment section, or at least some of the messages from WhatsApp, to see what the people are saying regarding this conversation. Let's take a look at the first one, shall we? Hauwa, what does it say?
Well, the first one is from Mandi Beche, Ogoja, Cross River.
I think we have Muhammad Bello's comment first. We
have Muhammad Bello, who writes from Misal Bauchi State. Mob justice or jungle justice is a concerning issue that can have severe consequences. He said in many societies, mob justice is often meted out to individuals accused of witchcraft, highlighting a disturbing trend of vigilantism. This form of justice can be brutal and lacks impartiality, often resulting in harm or even death for the accused. The absence of due process and fair trial can lead to miscarriages of justice, emphasizing the need for stronger institutions and community education. Well, I think he drove the same point as Mr. Ade did.
I think community education is quite essential in this one. So people understand that, listen, you can be angry, you can be frustrated about the status quo, but you do not have the right to take the laws into your own hands. I mean, look at what has happened in Uromi, for instance. I mean, we're talking about it because of the scale of the impact, right? And you have this regional arguments that have been made about it, but it is happening at community level also. Let's take a look at the next contributor on WhatsApp. This one is from Olusana Olalekon Ebenezer from Ilorin in Kwara State. It says, jungle justice may seem like a solution, but it's barbaric and undermines the rule of law. Ideally, the law should take its course. However, Nigeria's justice system is plagued by corruption and inequality. Those with wealth or influence often escape punishment, while others face harsh treatment. The police and the judiciary are key areas where reform is needed and government support is crucial for meaningful change. I can't agree with you more, Lusana. Thank you so much for that contribution. Let's take a look at some of the other comments that we have on WhatsApp. In case you haven't dropped yours, there's still some window, a minute or so to spare, so feel free to send in your thoughts so we can reflect them to our viewers. The next one is on the screen now. Let's take a look at it. Hauwa?
The next one, we have a message from Aslam Abdussalam Saleh from Mina State, Niger State, Mina. Is jungle justice moral? Jungle justice is not moral, he says. It denies individuals a fair trial, often punishes the innocent and promotes lawlessness, revenge and violence rather than justice and order. However, jungle justice is influenced by the style of governance, especially when justice systems are unreliable or corrupt. It still boils down back to... Yes,
and to be honest, look at, say, we like to always draw parallels with the United States of America, for instance, right? And listen, it is in no way, shape, or form a fully functional
or perfect
society or perfect society, right? However, if you juxtapose developed economies or societies, right? Even in China, for instance, I mean, China might not necessarily be your classic democracy, but people still know that they can get justice. If someone calls the police on you, it's because they know that the police will be impartial in delivering justice. And that to some extent explains why people have, this tendency to always resort to self-help. It's because they don't think the police can give them any version of justice. And neither do they believe that the courts will do same.
Which is sadly a situation of justice is for the highest bidder.
Yeah. In most cases. Let's go back to the WhatsApp platform. I believe this one is the next comment that we have. It's coming from an unidentified contributor. It says jungle justice is not moral, but it's because of the failure of our justice system that people resort to such justice. I wouldn't call it justice. Look at the herders' killings in Benue State. Nobody has been arrested and prosecuted. The conventional justice has failed the people, has they resort to this kind of bizarre form of justice. I think we've been echoing and saying the same thing over and over again.
Absolutely.
And, I think it's safe to say that we all agree that it is immoral. However, there is an explanation as to why this phenomenon or trend continues to grow across our society today. Thank you to all our contributors who joined the conversation through text and also for calling in. Very meaningful contributions as always. So we appreciate you for taking part in this segment of the program.